basically what we're going to do is take the other side of the boat and try to make it shine, pop out the oxidation in it, and buff out the imperfections. So basically the first step we do is clean the surface. So you take soap and water. 3M makes a good product, Sharpshooter. Soap and water, and just make sure that the surface where you're going to be buffing, you want to clean it nicely with a clean rag, a soft rag, preferably a microfiber rag because it prevents scratching more so than just cotton. So clean the surface thoroughly, and that way it gets all the contaminants off of there. When you're buffing, you're really just refining the surface, and if there's any large contaminants in the surface, you want to make sure that those are removed before you apply the buff pad and abrasive. Once the surface is clean, I guess you want to inspect it and find out where all the deep scratches are, and if you identify a deep scratch that you can't get out with buffing, you'll probably have to go to a sanding step. Next step is to get a wool buff pad. That is the most aggressive buff pads that are made. It's a 100% wool pad. For heavy oxidation on gel coat, a wool buff pad is a good place to start. This has the hook part, this has the loop, and attach the pad like so. And then what you want to do with the new wool pads, since they do generate some fuzz when they're brand new, you just want to take normal water and just wet the pad down just to eliminate the dust flying up, and especially if you want to keep your shop clean. And then a simple spur that we've I guess found out through the years is just a cable tie wrapped up into raindrop type format. So wrap tape around there, and it does a good job of spurring the pad out and making sure that it's nice and fluffy for you. Especially when you're applying the compound, you want to work on an area that's shoulder width apart. So a good recommendation to go by is a 3x3 area, just so you can get all the central pressure in front of your shoulders and you're not reaching outside of your comfort zone, I call it. So when applying the compound, a couple ways to do it. You can either put it on the pad itself, or you can put it right on the side of the boat. I like to put it on the side of the boat here. So oops, so like that. So when you're buffing, you want to make sure that when you get the compound on the pad, you want it to be on the exterior parts of the pad, so it has enough action and the most action on the pad to do the cutting ability and the refining ability. If you get the compound in the middle, it'll just kind of swirl around the middle and you won't really get much cut effect out of that. So when you start out, you want to make sure that you get the compound spread across the area that you're going to be buffing, and then on a slower speed, if you have an adjustable speed buffer, you want to be between a 2 and a 3. It's around 800 to 1200 RPMs, and that way the slower speed will actually help the compound work better and cut better on the boat. Good thing to keep in mind when you're buffing, as you can see there, to make sure you cover all the surface of the boat, you want to have a east to west, north to south pattern to make sure that you're covering, like I said, all the surface of the boat. And then after your first pass, depending on the severity of the scratches or the oxidation, you want to again take the soap and water and clean the surface to inspect it. So as you can see here, I mean, that one pass did a pretty good job on the boat, and it, you know, popped it out pretty good. You can see the difference of where I did here. You can obviously do more and more passes, and the brighter and shinier it'll get. The compound that we're using is the Imperial compound from 3M, and does a good job of taking scratches out while polishing at the same time too. So we also make blended pads, which are yellow, and then our foam series of pads, which are white, black, and blue. All right, yellow polish pad, same thing. Water. Obviously, you want to make sure you clean the surface in between buffs to get all the residue, and the, you know, sometimes compound dries up and almost acts like a rock on the surface. Okay. So, but I mean, you can see the instant difference on that.